and this is our roller coaster. So our assignment was to build a roller coaster that had 2 vertical loops that was 20 to 25 feet long. It could only be powered by gravitational potential energy, and it couldn't be launched or have any powerful source. It could not be taller than 1 meter, no wider than 2 meters, and no deeper than 1 meter. Our dimensions for a roller coaster is 36 inches by 32 inches. It is 1 meter tall.
The materials that we used were wood, clear tubing, screws, and clear tape. It didn't cost us anything to make it, and it was a lot harder than we thought it would be. We honestly just wanted it to work.
Friction is the resistance that one surface or object encounters when moving over another. There are 4 different types of friction. The first type is static friction. Static friction is where a force is applied to an object but does not cause it to move, such as pushing on a wall. The second type of friction is fluid friction. Fluid friction occurs when an object moves through a fluid, meaning either a liquid or gas. The third one is sliding friction. This type of friction occurs when solid surfaces slide over each other. The fourth and final type of friction is rolling friction. This is when an object rolls over another. Friction occurs often in everyday life. Different types of friction apply to different objects and affect the way they work.
There's only one type of friction that occurs in our roller coaster, which is rolling friction. Sliding friction does not occur in our roller coaster because sliding friction happens when an object slides over another, and our marble never slides. It is always rolling. Fluid friction obviously doesn't occur because there is no fluid or gas involved in our roller coaster. Static friction does not happen anywhere in our roller coaster because the marble never pushes on anything. Our roller coaster specifically has rolling friction because the marble is constantly rolling throughout the entire project.
If it wasn't for rolling friction, our marble would never finish the ride. Without the rolling friction, none of the types of energy would be able to happen. The friction also holds the marble down, and the less friction, the faster the marble will travel. The more friction, the more thermal energy is present. Friction affects our roller coaster by keeping the marble on the track when going around loops. This is also known as centripetal force.
The types of friction are related because they all have something to do with resistance. Static friction has resistance because when an object pushes against another and it doesn't move, that's resistance. Fluid friction has resistance because when something glides across water, the water runs underneath it and slows the object down. Sliding friction has resistance because it's when two objects slide against each other, usually causing heat. Lastly, rolling friction has resistance because when one object rolls against another, it slows the object down, decreasing the kinetic energy.
When the kinetic energy is at its highest point, the potential energy is at its lowest. The potential energy is at its lowest when the kinetic energy is at its highest, because when the kinetic energy is high, the marble is going at its top speed. When the potential energy is at its highest, the marble is going slower, but has the potential to go fast. In our roller coaster, the potential energy is highest when the marble hasn't started moving yet, because the marble has the potential to go really fast. The kinetic energy is highest on our roller coaster when the marble is going between the two loops, because it's almost going straight down, therefore it's traveling at its top speed. Alright, try it out. It worked.
The end.